because you're an island girl, okay? And I'm sure you have been over here in America. You're in Toronto, Canada.
Yes.
Who would you say has the biggest and the better dick in men? So cheers, AJ, badass. Pum Chronicles. This is Tatted Twins. That's Kiki's concoction tonight. Y'all, let me just introduce the queen that I have up here beside me. Let me tell you something. She is the host of Pum Chronicles. Her name is AJ Badass Jones, okay? She hails from Jamaica. Y'all mind. And she currently resides in Toronto, Canada. Y'all, she is a sex positive influencer. She has her own clothing line, which she's going to tell you about a little later. We'll get into that. And like I said, she is a podcaster. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight.
My absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Let me tell you something. This has been a night. We did go live a little bit on Instagram, so hopefully our damn shamers that are over there. What do you call your crew? The Pum Pum Squad?
The Pum Pum Posse. Pum Pum Posse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome, Pum Pum Posse. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, subscribe, and share because the numbers are important. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you hear tonight. Okay? So look, getting into the culture is Black History Month. I would be remiss if I did not say that. But y'all, how about this? If y'all were here on my birthday show, I talked about my cousin Manzo being in the hospital getting spine surgery. Well, I said that I would wear this bracelet in honor of him. And when he was out of the hospital, I would take it off. Guess what, y'all? He's out the hospital. He is home. He is recovering. He's still doing therapy. Spinal surgery is something major. 16-year-old boy who is such an angel and a blessing to my family. So I just wanted to take the time to talk about that. We have a lot in the culture, y'all. I know y'all seen courtside Karen wilding out. She was wilding out on LeBron. Like, you ain't gonna talk to my man
crazy.
like that. Like, sit down, courtside Karen.
Right.
So they got kicked out. It's a lot going on. The damn Super Bowl is this weekend. Listen, the Ravens ain't make it. So I was like, well, shit, who's there? Y'all, they tell me that Tom Brady said, fuck the Patriots. I can do it anyway, okay? So he is, shout out to the GOAT, Tom Brady. And I ain't really a Tom Brady fan because, he's a supporter of somebody that I ain't with. Mm-hmm. But, listen, the skills are there. I have to, recognize the fact that he got his team there, the Buccaneers. But, Mahomes, I like that brother. And I ain't no, curly hair, light skin kind of man. That's not my juice, but he all right with me. That little young man got his team to the Super Bowl, I think, again. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. Listen, I'm pro-Black, so I want Mahomes to win.
Yes,
all day, every day. Pum Pum Posse, damn shameless. Who's out there? Can anybody see the comments?
Yeah, what's up?
Come closer.
We got the Pum Pum Posse and the damn shamers. What's up, Sexy T? Thanks for joining. We got the KH402. Tay80's in the house.
Yes.
Hey, Glam Shar Glam. Hey, girl.
Thank y'all. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, but we're here. We're going to catch the replay. We're going to have an awesome night tonight. Okay, look at this. Badass. I said, fuck this. I gotta get naked too. Shit. Come on now. Shit.
I like my skin. I'm not a fan of clothes, especially when I'm at home and I'm comfortable. Let the skin be free. Free the skin.
Absolutely. Free your skin. Mm-hmm. I love it. So
your house should be your place of comfort. You should never be bundled up in clothes inside your house. That's just weird to me.
No, I walk around naked. My mom said, it's a damn shame. I think that's why I got the name of the podcast. That's a damn shame. You walking around here naked in front of all these kids. And listen, they done seen ass and titties. And listen, they already know.
The thing is, kids aren't looking at us. They don't care about us. They don't care. They don't care about us.
I agree. But here it is. Confidence is key, right?
Absolutely.
And so many ladies struggle with their bodies, their image, and being confident and all of that. And you as the sex positive person here tonight, I mean, I want you, AJ, and I think we lost your video. AJ, I want you to really, talk about how we can, as women, even in men, be our best sensual sexual selves. I mean, we're getting ready to come up on Valentine's Day. It's a season for love, but hey, Valentine's Day is every day. Love spreads wide every day in my book. Okay, so tonight I just want to kind of explore that, help the ladies, help the men as well understand what we need to do to become our best sensual, sexy self. Okay. So tell us, we'll get started with, what was your inspiration behind you starting your Poom Poom Chronicles podcast?
Primarily it was my young people. As I said, my kids are young adults, and one of the things that I've always practiced with them is being open about any sort of sexual conversation. I always thought to myself when I had children that I would want them to be able to ask me the questions that I couldn't ask my parents. I want them to be able to come to me instead of having to go to the streets. I want them to come to me instead of going to their friends who have the same misinformation that they're passing on. And in part of that, in helping them and in giving them information and them being able to disseminate good information to their friends, I thought to myself, this would be kind of cool to sort of spread in a broader sense and have general conversations with adults who are not able to have those conversations with other people for fear of being chastised, for fear of shame, for fear of being ostracized, for fear of whatever it is. This gives them a platform to ask the questions that they want to ask and have the conversations that they want to have through me that they're not able to in their everyday life.
Yeah. So do you think that it is more common now for people to be sexually fluid and just, they're exploring more and being comfortable in that? Is that a trend, or have we always been doing it? What do you think?
It's really interesting that you asked this question, because this feels to me like the 80s. In the 80s, men were more sexually free and more sexually explorative. Women were more sexually free and sexually explorative. Even if you look at something as basic as fashion, it was not unheard of in the 80s for guys to wear nail polish, eyeliner, a little bit of blush to highlight their cheeks, to dye their hair blonde. Like, nobody thought like, oh my gosh, that's so like out there and so bizarre. It was fashionable. It was people enjoying their bodies, enjoying self-expression. And even in that, I remember being like living in the 80s and seeing like two boys kiss, but Boy George.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not thinking like, oh, that's so weird. Like, he's a man, but he's a woman. He's transgender. Now the term is transgender, but it was so readily acceptable then. I feel like we've done, you know what I mean? Like, I know they say fashion repeats itself every 20 years. I think trends like this do as well. I think we are now getting back to a place where people feel more comfortable exploring themselves in whatever way they want to explore themselves. Yeah. This generation is like us in the 80s.
Yeah. And I think that that's so key. I think it really is. It makes for less people, feeling embarrassed about who they are and their sexuality. And, and I think it's a dope time for us because, it's free to be ourselves and live the life that we want to live and not be, judged. Of course, you're going to have your haters and all of that, but listen, so let's just get right into it because you're an island gal. Okay? And I'm sure you have been over here in America, you're in Toronto, Canada. Yes. Who would you say has the biggest and the better dick in men?
Honestly, Jamaican men. And I'm not even saying that with bias, like really and truly. I'm not saying with bias because I have had my share of experiences with well-endowed American men, but it felt like more of like a hit or miss. Whereas Jamaican men, 90% of them, you're gonna buck up on some dick. Like not like regular dick, you're gonna buck up on, like we said cocky, we said pipe, we said wood. That's what you're gonna buck up on 9 times out of 10 with a Jamaican man.
Wow. Yeah, I listen.
Those odds sound good to me.
A dope ass experience. So, producer lady.
I said those odds sound good to me. 9 to 10, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. That's the odds.
That's
those
the odds sound good to me.
And a lot of Jamaican men live in America, so you know you kind of get the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything.
Definitely. So I had this question come up, and I want to ask you, what is the best way, or what could we do to seduce someone without using our mouth, our hands, or our words, etc.? What can we do to seduce that person, get them turned on? And this would be a nice little game with your partner over Valentine's. Like, let me just try to seduce you and, you know, not use the common things that we use.
Me, I would cook his favorite meal wearing like a little tiny apron, some thigh-high stockings, some badass bitch heels. Make sure my hair is up so my neck is exposed in case he wants to come smell the sexy perfume and body oils and body butter that's all over my skin. Make sure I'm glistening like a goddess, and just cook. Make sure that some sexy music is playing so I can sway my ass from side to side so he can see like the curves. Come over to him and bend down, say, baby, can you just taste the sauce for me and let me know, you know, if it needs anything, and make sure like I wiggle a little bit, you know, just tease him and tantalize him with the goods.
I absolutely love it. Let me tell you something. I would take that sauce and put it on the nipple here.
Yes. Say, here, taste this. Let me know, does it need anything?
Bitch, what is wrong with you?
I love it.
Oh my goodness, that is very sensual, and I love everything about that. So culturally, do you think that American or island people, Jamaican people, are more forward, like sexually forward? I think that I'm gonna let you answer.
I'm gonna say yes, because you know, for us, when we look at even basic things like dancing, whether it's Jamaica, Trinidad, you know, Grenada, wherever it is, from reggae to soca to calypso, you know, to all these things, there are dances culturally for us that when you look at it from the outside, they're very sexualized. But for us, it's like Juve, it's celebration. So nobody's really thinking about the sexual part of it. It's the sexual energy and the intensity and you know, bonding with your ancestral culture and bonding with, you know, your island mates and enjoying, you know. But part of that does translate into this push when you're younger to kind of fool around and it not be taken really seriously. You know what I mean? So like, seeing a 10-year-old boy or an 8-year-old boy, you know, dry humping a little girl and she's dry humping back, but they don't know what they're doing because they don't actually know where the penis goes or that she has like a vagina, you know? And so like, it's one of those things, or if you go to a dance, you'll see like a boy who's maybe like 12, 13, winding up on a big woman, like a grown woman, you know? And people don't really think, but when you think about those things, it's the start of the sexualization of us as young people. So, you know, it's not uncommon in Jamaica to see girls that are 12, 13, 14 with babies because they've been fucking. Because, you know, it just, like I said, it's part of the culture. It's become normalized. but not in the way that it's overtly sexual, if that makes sense.
Okay. I get it. I mean, it's part of the culture. It's what
Like
they
you see, like you see a young woman who, like, so you see like an adolescent, she's 12 and she's in the tiny bathing suit, all covered in sparkles and sprinkles because she's playing mass, right? Her costume is extremely sexual, but no one's necessarily sexualizing her, but inherently, you know what I mean? Like on an unconscious or subconscious level, it is sexual because your body's feeling hot underneath. Some boy who's watching you, he's feeling hot. And whether it's the carnival or not, instinctually, what he's thinking is she looks good enough to fuck.
Well, listen, I've been to local carnivals here in DC and I love it. Even in Maryland, I love everything about it. I love the costumes. I cannot wait to get to Toronto one day and do that as well.
But you feel the sexual energy when you're there, though, right? When you're
sensual time. And the thing that I love about it is that it's women my size or bigger that have this confidence that they're in there, all of this stuff, and they look so amazing. And just the sexuality, the sensuality that they exude is something that I totally admire and try to emulate too.
I think in the Caribbean, being bigger or being plus size or being a fluffy woman or a fuller figure woman is so much more loved and accepted than I feel like North Americans are just starting to get it. Whereas like in Jamaica, listen to me, they would have snatched your ass from you got off the plane if they seen you. They'd be like, come here, fluffy empress. Come here, fluffy diva. Let me talk to you a minute. And you would get picked over a slim girl any day in Jamaica. I promise you that.
Oh, I know. I've experienced it. The women are like, who the fuck is she? Like, they real mean.
And you're like,
I'm just here to have a good
what?
time. Husband, but I do like that wood that you said earlier. Like, yeah, Jamaica treats me very well every time I go.
They love full women because it's a sign, that you're taking care of yourself, that you're taking care of your body, that you're invested in your health and your well-being. And women who are bigger are happy and they're full of love and full of joy. You know what I mean? Because when you're maga and you're skinny, it's like you're hungry and then you're angry and then you're upset. And that translates badly to everything else. You know what I mean? But we have like a fullness and joy to us because we have fullness. Yeah. We're full-bodied.
Full body. And they love it. They love everything about it. So listen. How should a woman approach sharing her sexual fantasy with her partner? And her fantasy is bringing another man into the bedroom. Not a woman, because it's common for, men to be okay with bringing another woman. But fuck it, I like double penetration.
Yep. I honestly, that's a tough one. You would really have to know your mates, and there would have to be like, it can't be one of those things where, unfortunately, it would be easier to spring it on him or your partner if it was a woman that you wanted to bring in, because more times they're like, yeah, I'd love that. That's great. Come on with it. In trying to bring a second man into your bedroom, there would have to be a lot of conversation with your partner beforehand. That couldn't be something that you said, oh, hey, babe, by the way, there's somebody that I like, somebody I'd like you to meet. You can't do that kind of setup when you're trying to introduce another man. Men are territorial about the vagina, even if it's not theirs. And men also have egos around dick size. If you're bringing in someone whose dick is bigger than your partner's dick, that in and of itself is going to be an issue, because right away you're thinking to yourself, you know what I mean? Like, he's going to fuck her and she's going to enjoy that dick more than she enjoys mine. And then we're going to have a problem. You know what I mean? So like, if she's oohing on and eyeing for him and he's got at least 2 inches on me, is she faking it with me because she's oohing and eyeing for him? Like more, like they get in their heads. I'll tell you a funny story. Years ago, when I was still rambunctious, I had suggested to my then boyfriend, we having this conversation about having one of his friends join us, and talked about it, and he finally said yes. And let me tell you what a disastrous fucking event that was, girl. So we got a hotel room, we had gone out for some drinks, And we're there, and things start in the car and this, that, and the third. So we get to the whole hotel room and things are starting to happen. And then my boyfriend kind of like, he stops and then he's like watching, but he's not watching in a way like he looks happy, he looks upset. So I stopped and I'm like, so he's like, I don't know if this is a good idea. I don't know if I feel good about doing this still. Like, we're in it. Like, dicks are hard, pussy's wet. We're here, we're in it. And he decides that he's catching feelings about the fact that his friend who he asked, he's catching feelings about the fact that his friend said, like, I'm going to deal with this because you're giving me an opportunity to fuck her. I want to fuck her. She's sexy. But now you're standing there in your feelings for something that you asked me to come to. And you know what ended up happening?
What?
He left.
Your boyfriend left.
He left. So we kept fucking, me and his friend. Like,
you're the goat. The goat.
Listen to me. We're already here. I'm already wet. You're already hard. We did agree to this. He just decided to leave. So does that mean like what? The rest, the 2/3, you know what I mean? Like, shouldn't enjoy themselves? Come on, man. We're too big for that. You decide you want to check out and you decide you want to go about your business. Okay, well, I can't help you with that right now. Right now, I need some stiff dick up inside of me. So
did you all break up after that?
We didn't. We had an argument and I told him that he was wrong because he should have stayed. And I said to him, like, why would you agree to do something that you knew that you weren't comfortable? Oh, because you kept asking. I'm like, you could have said no. You see, but what his problem was is because I gave him a threesome with 2 women. So now he didn't want to back out to be like, you know what I mean? A punk and say, look, okay, well, you let me have mine. So, but when it came down to it, his ego couldn't handle it. But he had to hug that. So we didn't break up.
Good. And did he still remain friends with his homeboy?
No.
Yeah. So listen, so the threesome with the woman, were you feeling like, oh, this bitch can't show me out? Like,
no, absolutely not. So I'm when I found that when I was in her company, I was more of the aggressor. And so, interestingly, most of the interaction took place between she and I, and he was just kind of there like the filler. Mm-hmm. But she was very submissive to my presence, more so than to his, which I would have thought she would have been for him. And even when he was talking to her, I remember he said something to him, I'm like, don't talk to her like that. And he's like, excuse me? I said, don't talk to her like that. And she looked at him and she, you know what I mean? Kind of like in that, oh yeah, you can't talk to me because AJ's here kind of thing. But it was a great experience. It was a great experience, but
I'm sure he enjoyed it. And he owed you one.
He really did.
That's that fight or flight, and so many men just run. Like, no, you gotta hang in there. Like,
yeah. I think there's a natural assumption, like I said, that, if it's 2 women that it's going to go smoothly or, that's the way that it's supposed to be. But men with their egos have a really difficult time embracing the idea, oh, well, I'm not gay. And if he touches me, then I'm gay. Well, nobody wants to touch you. Like, you know what I mean? Like the focus for the 2 of you is me. He's not trying to touch you. He's trying to touch me. He doesn't want to kiss you. He wants to kiss me. So the things that you're worrying about, you don't need to worry. He's not going to run up on you. Your dicks aren't going to bump accidentally. Like, you know what I mean? Just the ridiculous things that they worry about. Oh boy. Have you ever had a threesome with 2 men? But would you? In a heartbeat. I think it's, for women who are open, I think it's an experience that every woman should have at least once. Just to be like Godiva, just like the center of attention, like Venus, like Oshun. You're just this, like everything is being like, man, you'd be having orgasms till you didn't know if you were coming or going.
I am here for all of that, but I think that I don't want to know either one of them like that.
Oh, I like that. Because then there's no kind of weird emotional, right. Yeah, because you don't want to mash up nobody's friendship. like I did. I didn't do, they did. That was their fault. I don't take any ownership for that. I just, I took what I was owed. That was it.
So these men, they have a difficult time with, being in the same room with each other and, oh, that's gay. And if they touch me and this, that, and the other. Have you ever had a relationship with a man that was bisexual? And do you think that he needs to tell you at the onset of you all beginning to learn each other and know each other?
Yes, I have. Yeah, it got to a point, like after much conversation, because it's like, that there's a desire, that like you can sense that there's a desire, even when you look at when I would look at the type of porn that he was interested in, or certain things that he would say, and I was thinking to myself, like, there is no heterosexual man that's watching gay porn for nothing. There's no heterosexual man that is watching, bisexual porn for no reason, and even men who watch like cuckold situations, there's still an element of bisexuality in cuckold porn. So it's like, okay, I asked the question,
what the hell is cuckold porn? Cuckold. Yes.
When a married, so the husband is submissive to the woman, and she basically has a bull that comes and fucks her, and then the husband cleans up. So he either sucks the bull's dick, and
a cuckaroo is what I know that term to be.
Yes.
And they eat the man's shit out of the woman.
Yes. Yes. And that's what I was saying. So there has to be an element of bisexuality in that man, because no straight man is eating another man's cum. I don't care what anybody says. Whether they want to embrace that part of themselves, there is no heterosexual man who is eating another man's cum, not even his own cum. So,
yeah.
And for me, I don't have an issue with people's sexuality and what they enjoy. I just need to be informed so I can decide what I'm doing. So if I know that you enjoy the company of men and I'm okay with that, that now means to me that we always have to use condoms. We cannot ever go raw in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? I know now if I'm going to suck your dick, you have to wear a condom, an unflavored condom, in order for me to do that, because I'm not putting your dick in my mouth. You know what I mean? I'll still kiss you, and even then I'll be cautious, but it allows me to take care of myself as well within our relationship. But it more so became a situation of him being just completely submissive. So if I wanted to have sex with somebody else, he couldn't say anything about it. All he asked is that when I came home, instead of showering, that I let him clean me. Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Wow. That's some open relationship shit for your ass. And it takes a lot of confidence and security to know that, that's what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's
it
a
is.
lot for me.
It is.
Now. And the reason why I don't fuck with bisexual men is because I feel like I can't compete with a dick. I ain't got one.
Yes.
I can't compete with what this man can do for you. Now I can listen, I can stand toe to toe with the bitch, but I cannot compete with this man.
Yeah. And it takes a lot, because it's like, okay, if one of the aspects of his sexual interactions with men is that he enjoys being penetrated, then part of the expectation, now kind of seeps into your relationship that you get a strap and you penetrate him, because he wants to feel enjoyment and pleasure that way as well. And ultimately, I don't think it works out, because it's either he ends up living a secret life and not telling his partner about what he's doing because he doesn't want to upset her, and because he wants to, make her happy in addition to whatever it is that he's doing. Or inevitably, it doesn't work out because he's leaning more towards his pleasure, which is more of a homosexual interaction than a heterosexual interaction. So you can't, like you said, there's no substitute for that.
No.
There's no substitute. There's no strap on that substitutes for that in any way, shape, or form. And it's honestly, I feel like it's just a matter of time of that person convincing themselves that they're not gay. And it's okay. But I think more often than not, men who are bisexual make the full transition to being in primarily homosexual relationships.
Yeah, I would agree. I definitely agree. Would you say that there is this thing called a glory wall, where you're on one side of the wall?
You put your penis through the hole.
You got it. Have you ever experienced that?
I have not, but I would try it. I'm a dirty person. There are very few things that I wouldn't do or wouldn't even wouldn't try at least once to say, okay, you know what? I don't really like that. That's not for me. But I would try that. If the penis sticking out the hole looked pretty and it looked clean and there was, stuff that I could use to wash it before I did all that stuff, I would, I would take a turn. I would take a go at it.
What makes for a clean penis and a pretty penis? Because pretty penis to me is something that's dark and chocolate and girth, not tone,
yes,
but that girth.
Yes.
And then they can have like a little curve and that thing.
Yes, yes, and absolutely yes. So a good length, I would say minimum 7 inches, but fat. His dick has to look like it's heavy. Like it's gonna take a work for my mouth to get around it. Like you said, even skin tone, chocolate colored, no foreskin. I don't even care if it's pulled all the way. Just be circumcised, please. Circumcised penis is a much prettier penis. No diss to the men who have what do they call the turtleneck or whatever it's called. You guys have nice dick too, but it's just so much nicer when the head's exposed without having to pull anything.
There's a lot of skin, and there's a lot of skin.
That to me would be unclean because I don't know how to pull that back and clean it.
Was a Jamaican man.
Yeah, they like their hood. I don't know why. It's yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked, but it was so pretty when she pulled it back. I was like, shit, I'm already here, man. And I can't let a good dick go to waste.
Yeah, for whatever reason, a lot of, because I remember when we came to Canada was when my brother got circumcised. He had to have been maybe 9. Oh, wow. Yeah, and I don't know, I think it's just a family thing where a lot of Jamaican boys are not circumcised. It might be a religious thing. I'm trying to think if it's maybe part of the Pentecostal religion or something where they don't believe in circumcision, but no, like I said, no diss to men who have the hood, but a circumcised dick with a little bit of curve and lots of girth, girl. Even if I can't manage, I'm going to try to manage. I'm going to try to be the champion of that.
Yes.
Leave a lasting impression.
Phone calls after this one.
Yes.
So listen, how would you feel if would you want your girlfriend, your best friend, to come back and tell you that she saw your man with another woman? If they were in a club, it might have been a sex club, wherever. Would you want her to tell you if he was with a man or a woman? Would you want to know?
Yeah, I would. I think. Wait. You know why I say I think? Because there was an episode, one of those shows like Judge Judy or one of them kind of things, where the woman had cut her boyfriend's locks off and he was suing her for $3,000 in pain and suffering and damage and whatever, because he had been growing his locks for 28, 29 years. It was part of his family, you know what I mean, within his family, essentially, his dad was a Rasta, his dad's dad was a Rasta, and whatever. And so what ended up happening is the best friend of his girlfriend told her that she seen him at a restaurant with another woman. And when they were leaving, he bent down and gave her like the biggest hug and lifted her up off the ground and held her. So she's like, oh, you're cheating, you're a liar, where were you at this time and that? And she got mad and she cut his locks while he was sleeping. He woke up, half of his dreads were gone. Anyway, so they broke up. He took her to
We
court.
lost your video.
Oh, I don't know what's happened. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I don't know how to fix this. Oh, there we go. It keeps telling me to restart my video. That's weird. It keeps kicking me off. So, she cut off his dreads while he was sleeping. She drugged him and then cut off his dreads while he was sleeping. So the woman now that he hugged in the restaurant, she was in the courts with him. So they say to him, who is this woman? He says, my cousin. And then they ask the best friend of his girlfriend, is this the woman that you saw him hugging? And she says, yes. So his girlfriend, on the word of her best friend, drugged and cut off her man's hair. I feel like if my girlfriend told me she's seen my man with somebody, I'm going to go kill him first and then ask about it after.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you pushing out of the screen?
Nightlife. Disregard that.
Nightlife.
Causing all kinds of trouble over here.
This is some good conversation. So listen, here's another question. Do you think that you can possibly have good sex without kissing?
Oh, absolutely. You can have really good sex without kissing. Like I said, I've had a lot of life experience and a lot of sexual experience, and I've learned that kissing is so personal and so passionate that it's not something I can do with every person that I want to fuck. Some people, I just want to fuck. I want to feel your body. I want to feel your dick. I want to feel your mouth on me. I want to feel the sweat. I want to enjoy the energy, but I don't want to be in love with you in that moment. I don't want to have that kind of passionate, we're like tonguing down each other. No, I can't do that, right? And now there's one person who, I've slept with in the past year. Him, whenever we have sex, I am kissing him from the second I see him until the second I leave, because I'm ready for that emotional energy from him, and I'm ready to give him that. There are a lot of people who don't deserve that from me. He's absolutely deserving, because he gives better than he gets. They say give as good as you get. He gives better than he gets. Some people, they just want to kiss you to kind of like a guppy. Do I look like a fish? I'll pass, sir. Don't kiss me. We don't need to do that. It doesn't need to be a formality. I'm okay if you don't kiss me. I'm not going to be in my feelings. I'm not going to feel like this isn't a good sexual experience, but don't kiss me like I'm your pet fish. Like, don't do that. We don't like that. We don't like that. Kiss me like I've grown somebody, like a grown person, please. Like a big person.
So are you offended when a man does not have an orgasm inside of you and he wants to pull out and maybe put it on your face or put it on your chest or wherever, just not inside of you?
I'm not offended. I sometimes like to see it because I think like that finish is sexy, especially when there's like a lot of grunting and groaning and cussing and he's carrying on wicked because the orgasm feels so good. Like, oh, you fucking bitch. And then he comes, like that kind of thing. I'm like, that's right. Give it to me. Give me what you owe me. Thank you very much. Let me collect my things. Right?
I love it.
Yeah, like that's the way I think. So when, but then there are times, of course, depending, like I said, Mr. Kiss Me up and down, like I don't ever want him to pull out. So even though he does, in my mind, I'm always like, let's finish together. Think about how blissful and beautiful that would be. So, but for the most part, I like to see it. I like seeing what my return is on the good pussy.
Your return for the investment.
Yes.
I love it. I love everything about it.
Thank me for my work.
Yeah, definitely. So we both had children and we look damn good for our age.
Girl.
So have you had a man say, hey, you're pregnant. I know you don't feel like having sex. So is it okay for me to fuck somebody else or fuck your girlfriend? How would you handle that?
He would probably have to sleep somewhere else because I probably try to kill him in his sleep. God, no. You know why? Because when you're pregnant, you're hormonal. You know what I mean? Most days, everything hurts your feelings, even if it's not like, the toast didn't burn or it didn't brown properly on both sides. And like, you're crying next thing you know, because you're emotional and hormonal. You're going to tell me in my state, in the capacity that you want other pum pum because I'm pregnant and you don't want to deal with my hormones or whatever's going, listen to me. You better buy one of them little rubber dolls or one of them little plastic pum pum or the pocket pum pum or the pocket pussy, whatever and some lube and satisfy yourself, because you can either not sleep here, or if you sleep here, you got to sleep with one eye open, because I will probably try to kill you in your sleep.
Allegedly.
I'm just saying. I don't know. It might happen while I'm sleepwalking. The hormone sleep. You get up and you have to go pee and you're not really awake. Stab, choke.
Definitely. Nightlife, you got something for me?
Oh, girl, they are loving the boom boom. Somebody say taking notes on the cooking with my sauce and bad heels and a thong on, and just loving all the little gagged out rules about the man eating the cum of another guy. They're going off in there about that, but they're loving everything.
Question.
Yeah, that topic throws people off, and as much as we may not like it, agree with it, practice, there are people who enjoy that lifestyle, and you can't knock people for what they enjoy. I always say, like, what people do behind closed quarters with consent is nobody's business but theirs, and you can't get mad at people for their sexual choices.
Absolutely. Producer lady, you have something?
Quick question. Watching your Poom Poom Chronicles, right? I'm a fan and enjoy your show. Is there one chronicle that sticks out more than others? Like one when you finish the show, you were like, "Wow!" Like that was kind of deep for me. Like, is there anyone in particular that stands out as a really good
yes.
had you stuck?
Yes. I don't remember what episode it is, but there's a gentleman that I met through social media who just one day messaged me to ask me if he could ask a question and wanted to confide something in me. So basically the gist of it was that he's married, has been married for, at the time when I met him, he'd been married for like 22 years, something like that, and was having 4 affairs with 4 different women that lived in 4 different states. And he had been maintaining these 4 relationships for over a year. And so he would tell his wife days that he was off, he would tell his wife that he's working, and he would have one of his women fly in from whatever state and stay in a hotel close to his job, so he could say that he was going to his job, but not really go to the hotel to be with whichever girlfriend number 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then he never stayed the night, but he would always come back the next morning under the impression that he was going to work. Meanwhile, he was off from work for like a week.
Child, that sounds like my damn ex. Okay.
Really?
That sound like my ex. That motherfucker said he was going out of town for business working. He was working all right, working on some other pussy.
And this is why what I say, like when I hear people say that, oh, they're busy, they don't have time. Listen to me. You have people who create whole other lives and they find time. They find time to make babies with other people. So you can't tell me that I'm just too busy. There's no such fucking thing. Give me a break.
Mm-hmm.
You have people, like I said, they've got full-time job, a full-time husband or a wife, full-time family, and still have time to go and gallivant with other people. Nah, man, I was saying, like, I was mortified. 2, I was impressed. I'm like, you're running 5 relationships simultaneously. Bretta, how do you not call one the wrong name sometimes? Bretta, where do you find the energy and strength to please 5 women? Oh, and I'm looking at him like, you have that moment of wonder, like, shit, your dick must be like on 100, because hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Listen.
But that left me like completely stumped. Because at the beginning of the conversation, when he was talking about his relationship with his wife, that part of the story, that was the last thing I expected to hear. Like, I couldn't have guessed that for nothing.
What I will say is, I think that these type of men that you just talked about, are the kind that need to feel valued. And so they jump from the wife to all of these other women to make them feel more of a man, to fill that void or that insecurity that they really fucking have. They are dealing with some shit that they haven't kind of processed themselves. And so they, have all of these other relationships thinking that completes them as a man. And that's some bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you really look deep down inside of them, they weak as fuck. And so let me not get on my soapbox, because it's about to come. The glass is empty.
Right.
It'll be in the book, okay? It will be in the book. So listen, here's what I want to ask you. How do I deep throat without fucking vomiting all over him? That shit ain't sexy. Like, so what do I need to do? I done heard that you got to hold your thumb. I heard you got to hold your breath. Come on, Poom Poom, bad. Tell me.
So I will say, I am not the champion of deep throat. I am okay at it, but I'm not the best. I find it easier to deep throat when I'm on my back, when your head is hanging over the bed, because your throat is just naturally extended, and it's easier for him to slide more of the way in than if you're sitting up and it's like hitting the back of your throat, because you're actually sitting like this for a very long period of time hurts when there's no support under your neck. Do you know what I mean? And even if you're like this and you're sucking dick, like, it's a forward motion. Like, how far can the dick go? If you're on your back and your head is tilted back, the back of your head is resting against the side of the bed, it's a little bit easier. You definitely have to breathe through it, especially when he hits the uvula, the dangly thing in the back of your throat. You have to breathe through that, or everything's coming up. And take your time. Like I said, when it hits the uvula, take it like a breath, breathe in and open, like drop the back of your throat, it almost feels like you're trying to unhinge your jaw, but you're dropping and you can feel it creates like a hollow.
Yeah. What is the ultimate position that we are in control and we can have the best orgasm? Like, we as women, because I know that a lot of us need to have that clitoral stimulation in order to really have the best orgasm. What would you say is the best position for us to make that happen?
I personally think missionary legs up. Because if he's, and not where he's leaning down on you, but where he's like up on his knees and your legs are over his shoulders, or your feet are on, or your ankles are on his shoulders, that gives him, room to stroke. If he's got a curve, whichever way, or if he's got girth, it'll naturally rub against your G-spot, which is the 3 inches, 2-3 inches just in on the inside. But he can also reach down and rub your clit. You know what I mean? Lick his thumb, get it all slippery, lick your clit, you know what I mean? While he's inside of you, throbbing you, he can reach down and caress your nipples. He can pinch your nipples. He can reach down and grab your throat if you like that. You know what I mean? So there's lots of ways that he can interact with you. But the sexiest thing, I think, too, but you're able to make eye contact. And when he's looking down at you and he knows that, in that moment, and you're looking back, or when he's talking to you, or, verbally encouraging you, and you guys, your eyes make 4, listen, all kinds of explosions. I feel like, because back shot is great, but back shot's like a good finisher position. That's like the rough slap your ass. You know what I mean? I want to talk shit to you. I want you it's that kind of more sort of aggressive. I think the same with like, you know, if she's on top riding, like it's very vigorous, it's bouncing, it's, you know, that shit talking position. But on your back, legs up missionary, where he can rub your clit and look down at you and touch your body. Listen to me, man.
That's the ultimate, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's where
Because the
it
thing is, the woman, your body needs to be relaxed. You know, like when you're bouncing up and down, it's a lot of this motion. When it's, you know, from behind, it's a lot of this motion. When your body's relaxed and you're laying down and you're able to feel everything, especially if he's slow stroking the pussy and rubbing your clit, your body it'll relax into the orgasm. And once that happens, that release, Jesus Christ, sorry.
I love it. I love everything about it. And it makes sense. It really does. I mean, you know, that's what we want. That's definitely what we want. So if you're giving it a do head and you were like down there, do you like him to be waxed and manscaped, shaved, unshaved? What do you think?
Somewhere in between. Like when they're completely clean, it's nice the first time, but if they're prone to ingrown hairs, then you come back the next time and then you see like all the little bumps, it's kind of a turn off. I feel like if they just shave it low, like a low fade, and it's neat where there isn't like the long hairs hanging down your balls, because that's also really unattractive. And you don't want to, like, if you're down there sucking on his balls, you don't want like hair to get caught in your mouth. Especially like I have a tongue ring, getting a hair caught in the tongue ring. It's not cute. It's very unpleasant, you know, but a low fade and you know, the shrubbery around underneath and stuff is cleaned off. Oh yeah, he could get some real dirty wet head.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's sexy because you can like that get your face all the way there. I always tell men when they trim their hair, it gives you like an extra half an inch to a full inch, depending on the length of your dick, because all that hair is just in the way unnecessarily. Can we have all the dick, please? Can we get that extra half inch to an inch? Why are you holding back? Like, why? Right? Don't you want us to enjoy all of that? Come on, don't be selfish.
Absolutely. I need all of it. Do you find that it's harder for men to take criticism sexually? Like, you know, no, that didn't work. You know, do you find that their egos are bruised?
I don't necessarily know that one is gender specific. I think that's more, it's just a person thing. I know there are men who you say to them like, that wasn't nothing, and they take that as, let me prove my point to you. Give me a second chance. Just give me one more chance. And then they come back with a vengeance to like wreck your soul. And I'm not, you know what I mean? So I think it more so depends on the person. It depends on the connection that you have with that person. Some people don't take constructive feedback well. They feel like, you know, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, or, you know, that's not what so-and-so was saying. They enjoyed when I did it. But, you know, not everybody's body is the same. And anybody who's invested in your pleasure would understand that. And if you have conversation with them about what your needs are versus them taking it as a diss to their sexual abilities, they should be interested in pleasing you, which means that they should do the things that you want and the things that you desire. Yeah. Like, why would you not want to fuck me the way that I want to get fucked? You're not inside my body. So how are you going to know what that feels on the receiving end? You just know what you're giving me and you know what you're feeling. Right?
Absolutely. Would you say, okay, so listen, do you think that we're coming up on Valentine's Day, and we know that we want to wow our partners, whether it be a man or a woman, right? So there's some men who are with a drop dead gorgeous woman, and she knows it. She knows that she's sexy, and like, Kiki, anybody fucking with me, I already know. So it ain't too much you can do to tell me, no, I like to still hear it. But there's some men that feel almost kind of intimidated by the woman because she is drop dead gorgeous. She knows that she has this level of sex appeal. What can he do to keep her engaged, like to keep, you know, her feeling that she is top notch in his book?
He should continue to court her the way that he courted her when he was courting her after he's gotten her. I think part of the problem with men is that they stop trying once they get you because they feel like they have you and they don't realize how easily they can lose you because of that way of thinking. You know, your compliments should be the single most important compliments to her, which means you need to be giving them to her regularly so she looks forward to them. You know, don't say to yourself, oh, I'm not going to compliment her because, you know, John, Jim, and Jack already told her how beautiful she is, so I'm not going to say it. No. If she loves you, your opinion means more to her than anybody else's opinion could possibly mean. Give her the attention, hype up your woman. You see her like, shit, babe, look at that ass. You know what I mean? Or like, oh, I remember there was a video where the wife, she got in the car after getting her hair done. And the way her husband responded to her, oh my God, that man was like, look at her, he's like, damn, girl, they laid your hair down. Look at you looking all hot, boo. And like, and he's hyping up his wife. And she's like, you know, she's feeling nice because 10 people that she's walked by have said to her, oh my God, your hair looks so great. Your hair looks so great. But when her man said it to her and the appreciation on his face, she felt that. They weren't just words that were landing in her ears. When you compliment your woman, you're speaking to her soul. When other people compliment her, they're speaking to her exterior. It's not the same. You know what I mean? So to keep your woman engaged, you need to keep engaging your woman. You can't just say, okay, well, I have her. So, and she already knows she's beautiful. So whatever, I'm not going to tell her. No, you need to be her biggest cheerleader. That's how you keep a woman invested. That's how you keep a woman engaged.
It's all right. Okay, that is definitely true. That's definitely true. How you got her is how you keep her and
Absolutely.
how you keep her engaged. So I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Producer lady, hit record. Here is one final question for you. We're approaching Valentine's Day, right? You are AJ Badass Jones, okay? The host of Poom Poom Chronicles. What can you tell our women and our men that we should be doing to maximize and make this the best Valentine's Day that we could ever possibly experience sexually? Please enlighten us.
I think right now, especially because we're in a pandemic and people are, you know, staying at home for the most part, this is a great opportunity for you to explore in your home the things that you may have wanted to try that you weren't able to try before. But, you know, have open and honest conversation with your partner about what those things are. You know, try a new toy, try a new position, you know, watch a porn together, try mutual masturbation, you know, taking like sexy showers together, light the candles, turn the lights off, play some romantic music, like all the things that you told yourself you didn't have time for because you were so busy with work and whatever else. Now you have time because you're in your yard and no one's going anywhere. You know what I mean? Now you have no excuses, you know, and be invested in the moment, be committed to the moment, put your phones away, you know, turn your phones off for one night. You know, if there's an emergency, they'll get to you. They'll find you, they'll get to you, they'll let you know, you know. Be invested in the moment and stay committed to the moment with your partner.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And I think that we can all do that and it, you know, create that vibe, the atmosphere that we want with our partners and it be successful. So that's definitely a good tip. So each and every week, we like to spotlight Black-owned businesses. You have a clothing line. Tell us about that.
Yes, ma'am, I do. My clothing line is called Feline. It was called Feline Couture. I'm in the process of rebranding right now. It's called To Feline Design. A lot of the inspiration for my designs are like the 50s when, you know, like when women used to dress, like they're going to the grocery store, they throw on a little lipstick, a little cute top and a little skirt. And, you know, women were more dainty. I want to say, no offense to anybody, but I like that era because that's when women were invested in fashion and invested in the way that they look. You have a tea party with your girlfriends and everyone's wearing a ball gown on Sunday afternoon. Y'all ain't going nowhere but over to Mary Beth's house, but everybody's dressed up. You know what I mean? Like it was more like a sorority sisterhood type of stuff. So that's the vibe and the feel of the clothing line itself. I specifically cater to plus size women. So if you are not size 14 and above, I generally don't work with you unless it's somebody that I know and I'm creating like a specialty gown or a specialty piece for that person. So I do a lot of event and wedding pieces. Yeah, I don't work with the smaller. If you're not a size 14 and over, I can't do anything with you. I've traveled all through North America and the Caribbean doing fashion shows. I've participated in New York Fashion Week, Houston Fashion Week, Caribbean Fashion Week, Caribbean Pulse Fashion Week. So, you know, I've been in the industry for over 12 years.
Wow.
And yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
That is
design aspect.
So dope. I cannot wait to check out the website and all of that. Like you say, you're rebranding now.
Yes.
So when you get it, I'm sure it's going to be on your
I will
social
let you know
media.
the relaunch
How
date.
can they find you?
Right now you can find me on my social media. So Instagram doesn't love me right now, and they have soft suspended my Badass Jones page, but it's still there if you want to follow that page. It's badass_Jones_. That's my personal page where you'll see, like, you know, pictures of me and quotes and my high thoughts and all this kind of stuff. And then of course there's the podcast page, which is the Pum Pum Chronicles pod. And that's where everything related to my podcast and the Wet Wednesdays that I do live every Wednesday, which are adult discussions. All of that is there. And I'm also on Twitter under both names, Badass Jones and the Pum Pum Chronicles. So those are the two best places to follow me for the time being until the website is up and running.
Nice. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love everything about it. Listen, each and every week we give the Damn Shame Award of the week. And for me, it's that motherfucker that's bisexual and he know damn well he want to be with a whole man. So go on and do that. Live your best life.
Yes.
We ain't hating. Don't straddle the fence.
Yes.
Just go on over there and do what you do. Live your best life. We still love you, brothers. We still love you. Y'all, let me tell you, guess what? I'm a motherfucking author, okay?
Hey!
Podcast Drink Recipe book is out on the rocks. You can find it ebook on Amazon.com as an ebook. The paperback is coming soon. But y'all, it is on Amazon.com.
Congratulations.
Cried like we did it. Producer lady and I, we did it. It is here. It is up. They sent me an email probably about an hour before the show. And I was just like, Lord, thank you. You believe God for big and he will give you big if you exercise your faith and you stay dedicated to the goal. So listen, if I can do it, AJ's doing it. Y'all damn sure can do it, okay? So thank y'all for tuning in each and every Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to thumbs up, subscribe to my page, subscribe to Pum Pum Chronicles. Listen, her Wet Wednesdays, Listen, she's talking about some grown folk shit that we all need to hear to enhance our best sexual selves, okay? So I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's Friday. Have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you next week for the Valentine's Day show. Ow, ow.